Now, edge computing is a really new developing area. Think of it as cloud 15 years ago. So how do you future-proof your workloads? Do you use AWS IoT Suite, or are you afraid of vendor lock-in? Well, here's what I think. It depends. Sorry, I had to say it. I think you should be very careful with at what level do you write your application logic. Maybe all you need to write is one function that collects data and then sends it back to the regional data center where you have your logic running in a container. And that container, well, you can easily move between cloud providers should you want to at some point. Or maybe your use case needs the processing to happen at the extreme edge on the device itself, in which case you would have to go the extra mile to use libraries, communication protocols, and operating systems that are standard and open source like FreeRTOS. But the reality is there will always be stuff that is specific to the cloud provider itself.
Reality is often disappointing.
If avoiding vendor lock-in is a mandatory requirement for you, you just have to find a way to abstract that properly to the point that you could, in theory, rewrite that small layer for any other provider or any other machine or whatever you decide. Now, edge experts advise you to architect your workload around data management principles. Where do you do data aggregation? Where do you do data filtering, massaging, cleansing? Where do you do inference? Where do you do your training? Because some tasks can be independent, but you can afford to do your inference, for example, on AWS SageMaker. The inference itself is vendor specific, but the data used for inference is not. I don't want to spend a lot of time on vendor lock-in because I believe we're all vendor locked in a way or another. I mean, I don't switch my smartwatch provider every day, my computer, and neither do you, I assume. And it's a very rare case where you see a production running application switching from one database provider to another just because. So I tend to think in the terms of make it work, make it right, make it fast.